Oh, I like your picture.
Hi everyone, it's Roger and APF Firm, Disney Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisKingdom.com, and welcome to episode number 51. I'm here, Roger, in the UK, and we have Abe there in sunny California.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hi everyone. It's been an interesting week. We are now literally 4 weeks away from Disney Infinity 3.0 hitting stores. I finally got around to playing it this week, so that's always a good thing. And on this week's show, we're going to be discussing the Disney Infinity poll. We're going to be talking about the Villains Takeover, talk about the Twitch recap, and then the two of us are going to be discussing Disney Infinity 3.0, our hands-on experience, because we've now both been able to play the game. Mm-hmm. So let's kick things straight off the bat, and let's go straight into Disney's Infinity, the poll that the Disney are running on social media and the website to try and get people's choices in for Disney Infinity 3 or 3.0, 4.0, whatever we want to put in there. What are your thoughts on this first off?
I like it. I mean, it's definitely a lot broader than before. I think before it was just on the Facebook group, and now it's just all over the place. And I honestly think it's kind of madness because there's even people building bots and hacking into the poll, and it's crazy how badly people want certain characters in the game. Right. But it's still cool. I'm glad that they're opening it up to the public, and they're making it very, very well known everywhere. Not only on their Facebook page and on Twitter, but they also have, like we said, that poll on the Oh My Disney website.
Yeah.
But interesting choices of characters on that poll as well. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm just brought up here the poll here for us to look at. I've just literally done a vote just to see who's currently winning. Unsurprisingly, Mabel and Darkwing Duck are currently leading the way with 47 and 48%. Now, I think there's something going on here. This website just seems to be, and they mentioned it on the live Twitch. There's a massive push to get Mabel and Dipper from Gravity Falls into it, and there's, on Twitch TV, even JV said that they're aware that there's bots being used to auto vote, which is why, if you look at it here, there has been, what are we looking at here now? I'm just trying to work out the numbers here. 11 million votes, is that right?
Yeah.
Am I reading that right? 11 million votes?
Yeah.
Of which 48, so nearly, what's that, going to be 5-6 million votes just for Mabel, and about the same for Darkwing Duck. Yeah, something's not quite sounding right for that list.
Yeah. If anything, I think the percentages or results aren't accurate, but as far as the voting goes, they'll still count your vote if you click on somebody like Goofy or Ariel or something that's not getting any votes according to that. But yeah, no, it's funny. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a huge following for Gravity Falls. In fact, I even saw Alex Hirsch post on his Twitter. It was like one of those campaign things with Mabel on it, saying that, hey, keep voting for Mabel. She's still in the lead by a little bit, but Darkwing Duck's catching up. So
yeah,
no, it's cool. It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun the way they're doing it. They're using social media, and I think they're collating information from all the different social medias to work out who's favorite, who's got the most bit of information. Now, I'm going to kind of put a little bit of sort of idea on this. Well, I still think we've got stuff for 3.0 from the Disney side that hasn't been announced yet. Okay, and this broad sort of spoke of what they're putting out there, I don't think it's got any relation to what. I don't think there's anything to what's coming up. So if there's a figure announced, if there's a character announced, say for example at D23, like Gravity Falls, it's this actual poll thing has got absolutely no reference on that at all. It's just pure coincidence that that's happened. So I don't know. I still think there's going to be some figures announced that are on this list and people are asking for. I think we'll see more of that anyway. It's just the Gravity Falls stuff. I think they missed the opportunity last year, and I think everyone had that taste of Gravity Falls, and then they didn't quite get it. I think there's still that feeling on quite a few characters of like like Big Hero 6 and stuff, where we've had some of it, but we haven't had all of it, which is what people want to kind of finish things off. It's an interesting list. There's lots of different ones on there, very broad, very all over the place, and people are voting on different ones. And yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good way of them doing a straw poll to work out who's popular, who isn't. But also, sometimes, like media and sort of marketing departments, sometimes don't always have their finger exactly on the pulse of what people like at this precise minute. You know, they got maybe a vision that something's really popular, but it isn't, and something that maybe isn't as they don't think is popular and isn't as recent is actually more popular than it actually is. And this allows for that kind of thing.
No, yeah, I agree, and I kind of agree with you're saying that this list not necessarily means that something that we won't get already or that it's in the works. Like for example, I still have this little feeling that we might have Gravity Falls in 3.0. Maybe figures, we still don't know. D23 is going to give us a lot of surprises apparently. But yeah, no, like you said, this is cool that they're collecting all the data and ultimately go Darkwing Duck.
And see, the thing is, and I'm going to be honest, I'm actually looking at this, the entire other thing and going, I don't really, Gravity Falls, I've watched a few episodes, not really that interested in it too much. I'll buy the figures and stuff that come out for the game. Darkwing Duck, he was all right. I was a Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger fan and a DuckTales. Darkwing Duck was not my fate. If you had gummy bears and out of the and all these other ones, Darkwing Duck wasn't as high up on my list as Rescue Rangers or DuckTales. So I'm looking at it going, and I'm just going, Disney, just chuck these two in there so we can get someone else in there. It's just like, let's just get somebody else's name thrown out there, like Wally or Robin Hood or something. It's
I love Wally. That would be awesome.
I'm already at that point of just get Darkwing Duck in there and get this out of the way so we can move on.
Well, you know what? The way even though you're saying it that way, I think, let's say he does make it into the game, I think he would be a cool stepping stone to, DuckTales or Rescue Rangers and all that. So we'll see. I guess what happens.
I mean, yes, I'm thinking Chip and Dale are going to come in when the new movie comes out. DuckTales is going to be when the new cartoon comes out. So they're going to be stretching out to when it's relevant. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I like the fact that on the Twitch TV they were talking about, I think the discussions with Marvel over doing the same kind of thing. I think Star Wars is a little bit more tricky because they've got to let everything out and see where the line lies, because they've used up a vast collection. I mean, all there's going to be is Jar Jar Binks, and there's less big characters in Star Wars to announce as there is with the other ones. But no, it's pretty interesting, and I think it's a great move going forward. And my personal votes are for Oswald, Indiana Jones, and Elliot from Pete's Dragon. Those are my kind of picks for what I'd like to see.
Those are your top three?
Yeah. Yours?
Oh, wow. I mean, and we're just talking about Disney, right?
Yeah, just Disney.
Well, I still think Darkwing Duck is my top. I would love Genie. And I guess I haven't put up on Twitter. I've been putting up different categories on Twitter as far as my votes go. But just because I feel like Bing Bong is coming, I'm going to say... this is a tough one. My last one will be Simba for the quadrupeds. So hopefully we'll eventually get a four-leggeds. So
yeah, and the thing is, let us know in the comments below. Use the hashtag #RDisney Infinity. Let us know what you voted for, who you pick. I'd love to know what you guys think as well. I think that's a cool thing with this kind of sort of thing, is that it gets people talking, it gets people excited, and everyone's got their own opinion, and nobody's wrong. Nobody's, if you want to have, 3 characters nobody's ever heard of, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, no, it's a very interesting thing, and just looking at that list from the My Disney blog, that isn't all they're going off of. That's the thing that that's to remember, is that's not an official list, and that's all you're getting.
That's true. Yeah, you got to go to Twitter, you got to go to Facebook, Instagram. Just use the hashtag #OurDisneyInfinity, and they'll count all your votes.
It's quite interesting. They're doing the live version of Alice the Mad Hatter in that picture, which is kind of interesting.
Well, it's because the movie's coming up. That's probably why.
And
I'd love Ursula if they do her Little Mermaid. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. So there we go. That's cool. Well, I think we have a visitor from the cat there.
We do. Where? Oh. That was weird. And then I was gonna say I did see Wally on that list, and the only when we see Wally, that'll be when they announce either Chopper or BB-8. That means that they're going to do droids as figures. But other than that, then we probably won't see it.
No, it's a bit odd, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
It's just such a great way of kind of getting in the community, doing bits and pieces. So I think that's just a really cool way of getting people into getting some choices. And Mulan, and I think Mulan and Olaf were sort of 2 or 3.0 is kind of this same thing because they've done it last year as well.
Yeah, Mulan and Olaf, and then they actually also on the Twitch cast they lumped Sam and Cora as part of the fan requests because technically they did request them. But anyways,
no, that's cool. Right. Okay. So we're also just gonna talk a little bit now about our next subject, which is going to be.
Hey, that's 52. Is it 51?
No, 51 was last week. We're on 52.
I think in the beginning of the podcast you were 51.
No, I'm allowed to make mistakes. There we go. Right.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So our next subject is going to be Our next subject is going to be the Toy Box TV Live recap.
Yes.
So, which was primarily the Villains Takeover, which we saw a lot more video game footage of that. It was again a kind of a nice informal Toy Box, but also they sort of brought in a guy from Marvel, and they kind of had a little bit of fun, sort of talking
Mike
about.
Jones.
Yeah, and it was quite funny in the fact of making a bit of lightheartedness about being able to talk about Marvel, and everything was pre-approved that he said kind of thing. Nothing got announced.
But yeah, I mean, you could tell. I mean, especially the way JV was being that. The only reason why we haven't gotten anything from Marvel, it's all Marvel. But we understand Marvel likes to take care of their guys, their property, and we understand. But they did give us a little tease that they have something coming, something big soon, which obviously they already hinted at San Diego Comic-Con. But both Roger and I are on the same consensus that we're going to hear about this Marvel announcement hopefully at Gamescom, which is not this week, but next week, I believe.
Yeah, next week. I think the end of.
I think it's the 5th through the 9th. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's I'm not going to be able to fly to Germany for that one, but it would make sense to me that that they do an announcement at Gamescom because there's going to be lots of information coming out, and if they've got this Marvel playset to come out, to me, D23 doesn't seem like the best place for them to do that because it could get lost in the shuffle with Star Wars and Disney announcements. So if they get Marvel out next week, it would mean that they could have a whole clean sweep of Marvel on, because they're not going to announce it with somebody else. Marvel aren't gonna. That's not going to happen. They don't. Marvel and Disney on the Infinity side don't mix. We saw that the whole of 2.0. We never saw official pictures of them together. You just don't. There was not a lot of see with Star Wars. We're already seeing official images coming out with like Frozen.
Olaf.
Yeah, they're already interacting on, so it's a little bit different. And I think it would make sense to make an announcement next week, because we don't know how much announcements in other video games are going to be coming next week, and then the following week. It really depends on how much they're going to announce at D23.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm expecting there could be a lot announced at D23 as the final push before the game comes out. Because if they don't announce it, and people then find it in the Hall of Heroes and stuff, they've got to get that information out before the game comes out in a month.
Right. And there was another cool thing that nice little reveal that Mike Jones, while both him and JV were exchanging words, Mike Jones, or I think it was JV, was talking back to Mike Jones saying that they were able to get 6 to 8 months worth of future Marvel content into 3.0, which means whatever's going to happen with Marvel 6 to 8 months from now, so meaning obviously Civil War, looks like we might have some Civil War in 3.0. So that was a nice little reveal that he gave us there for people who were smart enough to add up your months and saying that Civil War will be the next movie. So so that's kind of interesting. We'll get to see what we have in store with that. Again, it's content that's within the game. Don't know if they're figures. In fact, we don't know what any other Marvel figure is aside from Hulkbuster and Ultron. So I don't know, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that Marvel side of things, it makes sense to me to do Civil War. Civil War's going to be out springtime. It makes sense to get that out there. But also to me, Civil War allows for that use of all the characters we've already had.
Right.
It could fit in nicely with a storyline of the crossplay and all the rest of it, without introducing the new characters like Black Panther and stuff, which I think will be coming next year. I can't see them coming out this year without the movie. They're going to want that in the shops to get people going next year for the things like Black Panther and Doctor Strange.
That'll be exciting.
Yes. Also on the Twitch show, they showed quite a bit of footage for Toy Box Takeover, which
That's right.
is the pre-order bonus. So if you haven't pre-ordered it, I would say, and you want everything and you're going to be playing it quickly, I would get this because you're going to get the game included in it. It's basically, by the looks of it, a kind of a version of the dungeon crawler of the Guardians of the Galaxy and the was it the Brave one from last year, but basically revved up to being a lot cooler.
Yeah, one of the things that I did notice in the gameplay, obviously, sidekicks are for sure well more important. Like they're definitely fixed. I know there was a lot of glitches in the game. They also use the procedural generation tool, kind of like the Toy Box games we had, where they would generate the levels. But on this one, it's going to be like every 2 parts of the level you pass, on the third one it generates it, and that's when you play against the boss, which is the image you're about to click on. I think the first boss is Barboza, and that unlocks him, I believe, to be able to play. But no, it's kind of cool. I like the fact that also, like I said, the sidekicks will be very crucial. Obviously, you get to play with the farming tool, so that's actually going to help you basically get your sidekick their stats up, their attacks, their skills, and not to mention you can find little hats that'll give you special abilities within the level. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. I'm excited to try it out. So we'll see.
Did it look to you like the sidekicks looked a bit bigger than they did before?
They look like they're using the townspeople as sidekicks more so, because the townspeople always seem to be a little bit bigger than the regular sidekicks. But I could be wrong. They could seem bigger, but who knows? Yeah,
no, I just thought it was. I think the idea of it regenerating and stuff is going to be a lot more interesting for replay. And this is the thing, and I know you've done it a lot. Was those Toy Box game discs were actually one of your most favorite part of it, because of the online play and the continuous nature of that compared to playsets. Yeah. So I expect you're going to love this Takeover disc.
I'm definitely going to love it. I'm not going to lie. I think I still will love Raceway a little bit more, only because it's something newer and fresher. I mean, this one is still new and fresh, but it's still similar to what we have had in 2.0. But still, I'm going to love it because it's going to be hours of gameplay. It is also multiplayer, which is cool, so you can play with a friend. So I don't know. I mean, I guess once I really get hands-on with it, I didn't really play this one as much because, I said, I was so used to it that I wanted to play the Raceway instead, and so I did.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually got my hands on the expansion games yet. I think the fact that this one's out in the pre-order is a good idea, because I don't think there's as much excitement around this one. This is the one thing that kind of Speedway is completely just taking over everyone's thoughts and what people want to do. The Takeover one has been probably there hasn't been as much. Obviously, this Toy Box team thing was the first time we got to see some of it. Hasn't been as much excitement over it. But no, I'm thinking it should be an additional option. And the fact you can bring in all your Marvel and your Star Wars and Disney characters all into one game and play, that'll be interesting. And like I said, absolutely. I think that's going to be an interesting side effect to it. But yeah, no, I'm thinking this could be really interesting to see. And I think you can actually do it in about 3 to 4 hours. I think they said it's not a huge long, but I think the replay value is where this one's going to be picking up generation and stuff.
Yeah, because keep in mind, I mean, there's going to be tons of customization for your sidekick, so there's going to be different hats and stuff like that. So you replay to find chests, and you can keep unlocking more stuff. So we'll see.
No, that's
No,
cool.
that's
I'm
cool.
trying to think what else they said on the recap. What else they said they were talking about?
Well, they announced the opening of the summit to the public,
Yeah.
which we can talk about separately
Yes.
here.
Yeah, that's right. We'll
but
we'll carry on with this one.
get right into it. Okay.
Yeah, let's jump
Cool.
straight in. I'll leave
So
you with it.
they announced that they were giving the opportunity to everybody else to attend the summit as audience members. And the cool thing, in fact, this is something that I noticed. I haven't really mentioned. I noticed it kind of a little bit earlier today. But anyways, they did mention that the summit would be held inside the parks, which is cool. And they did say you do not need a theme park ticket to attend the summit if they invite you. If there is an RSVP out, sent out at 1 p.m. that same Friday. And you basically fill it in, and if they select you, you get to go, and you get to attend. What does it say? Got scratchy?
Yeah, it's got some scratchy noises at your end. I'm not too sure where they're coming from, but
Okay. Let me see. Maybe it's my facial hair.
yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. So what I was saying, so it's open to the public, and if they choose your RSVP, you get to attend. They open up 2 different days, the 12th and the 13th. The 12th is going to be panels, and you're going to have presentations from the Toy Box artists, and then the 13th, I'm assuming we get to see the showcase where all the Toy Box artists built their Toy Box, and we get to see who wins. They also mentioned possibly, not 100% confirmed yet, but possibly those who are audience members get to stay in the parks, so that would be kind of cool. But anyways, as far as the location as to where the Toy Box Summit will be held, I know where it is because I noticed it. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but there was. Should I say it? Should I say it, Roger? Should I say it?
I don't.
There was a little promo video released by Disney Infinity on their YouTube page.
All right, yeah.
And it shows all the Toy Box artists saying, "See you at the Toy Box Summit, Toy Box Summit, blah 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 blah." But in the very beginning of the video, you see Mickey Mouse, and then you see it pan out to this place that was built in the Toy Box, clearly by one of the artists, and you see it's clearly Hollywood Land in California Adventure, and it pans out to basically the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire building. That's where they hold private events. They usually hold like cheerleading competitions. But once it ended up, you see the monorail zoom right by, and it said Studio 17. That's when I knew that's exactly where they're going to go hold it, because it's in Studio 17 in California Adventure. So, just letting you guys know, you heard it here first.
That's your guess.
No, that's going to be it. I guarantee it. Because there's nowhere else they can hold this. They can't hold it inside Disneyland because there's nowhere else but the actual corral where they or the old Thunder, the Thunder Mountain little recreation area. That's outdoors. Can't happen. I'm 100%. That's exactly where it's going to be.
Because that's the thing. Because the way they've been talking about it's like this thing about what threw me off was this thing about having park access. I'm going, well, why would you need to park access if you weren't in the parks?
Because you are in the parks.
Yeah. That's the thing that kind of got me, because it's like, well, if you're outside in one of the hotels, you don't have to give you access to the parks. It's not there because if it was happening in, like, say for example, Walt Disney World, and you're in one of the resorts there, you know, say you're in the Swan or something, well, you wouldn't need access to be in the park to be there. So what you're saying makes sense. If they've got basically an auditorium that's completely empty that they can use. It's great because it means it saves them money on renting they don't have to rent anything. They've already, and it would, this idea of having an audience, because this is the thing when they're talking about having this audience, if it's an auditorium and there's seating, that is where that comes into it, because you could have a stage with the toy box on with the big screen, and then you can have an audience, because if you're going to have an audience, they've got to have somewhere to be sort of separate, because otherwise they're going to be getting in the way and just jumping on. The minute the Toy Box artist goes to the loo, someone's going to jump on and try and get in the Hall of Heroes.
Yep, here it is live at California Adventure. If this looks familiar to everybody, that's exactly where it is. Studio 17. There's the monorail that passes by. And this used to be the old. In fact, you can see a picture of it. This used to be the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire building. Which, guess what, Roger? There's a lot of room for audience members. So,
Yes.
so basically, it just works out. It makes sense to me. Especially after if you see the video. I'm not going to play it, obviously, but everybody go check it out at the Disney Infinity YouTube page. But, anyways. That's cool. But anyways, it's going to be inside the parks. They announced it, and they should be announcing who gets to attend. Basically, the 3rd, August 3rd. Although Allison said that it was going to be Monday, which I think she probably thought the following Monday. But if I get a notice tomorrow, you'll be the first one to know.
It's that kind of thing as well. With this is that it's. I think because of with it being D23, there's a lot of Disney fans already there because of it. With doing these events in LA, there's already a built-in Disney audience already there. It's a large corporate. They're nearby. This year, it does feel to me like using the LA location that they've been using and having D23 has allowed them to be a lot more open. You know, San Diego Comic-Con, you know, the in-games at E3, everything seems to be being about getting the audience, the fans, the real diehard ones in there that are in LA. And it seems to be like almost like the natural home for Disney Infinity at this precise minute because of all the events, you know, with the San Diego Comic-Con, E3, D23, you know, Disneyland, even Disney Interactive are there. You know, it just makes sense that everything is in LA, and it's easy for them to put these events together. El Capitan Theater, it's all in LA, and that seems to be the, you know, to me it is very much the hub. As much as like Salt Lake City they did last year, it's easier for LA.
Oh yeah, I mean I mean, not to mention, like you said, I mean, the fact that D23 is happening this year, and it so happens to be really close to when they usually hold the summit. It's a no-brainer. So, yep.
No,
you're right.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have it in Disneyland Paris next year. Next year.
Hey, well, JB said it's going to be somewhere else, so it's definitely not happening out here this time around.
Yeah. So it's like London or Disneyland Paris. I'll go to Disneyland Paris. Is that for me? It's the exact same flying time from my house from the airport near me to London or Paris. It's the exact same flying time. I'd rather have an extra day in Disneyland.
I think especially after this year's accommodations, which are amazing. I think everybody's going to want to be an amazing toy box artist come next year. So hopefully they can attend.
But that is it as well, because I mean, I'm not being funny, but this really revved up the toy box artists in 2.0, in my opinion. The idea of this summit has given a lot of people that push. That there's a big carrot on the end, and you know, and it's really making a lot of toy box artists produce better toy boxes because there is this sort of summit to go to, and there's an event to go to, and I think it has made a big difference to the game. It's definitely improved the toy boxes. I know they would have done anyway, but I think there's that extra incentive, that little extra thing.
Well, which leads to the next thing that JV mentioned on the Twitchcast, which is he's hoping to make it into a con next year if they can, if it grows big enough, which I think would be amazing. I mean, I don't know what you think. I mean, Infinity Con. Well, actually, there's already an Infinity Con that exists. Yeah. A Disney Infinity Con. Or actually, I told them, let's go away from the con version. Let's go crazy and call it Infinipalooza or something.
See, to be honest, I think that week of D23 is pretty much kind of becoming that anyway. If the summit becomes an audience event, that is kind of its own separate 2-3 day thing going on. So I think and around D23, there's just so much to do. I think it's just going to be a great thing. It depends really, you know, if the game keeps growing at the speed it's growing, it's going to.
Well, the only issue is that the D23 Expo is held every other year, so that's probably why. But anyways,
a lot of it's going to come down to cost at the end of it. How much these events cost to put on, and how much publicity they get out of it, because that's ultimately why they do it. Is to sell the game, is to get people into it. You know, they are giving back to the community because it's their die-hard community that will continue to buy everything. And so, you know, it's a great way of doing it, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great way of them keeping the community involved in it. And also, I think it's a great way of getting out information to the press, etc., about Disney Infinity outside of it, there of these other game conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
And okay, I think that pretty much wraps up the recap. And that was pretty much everything they said on it.
I think so. Yeah, I can't
Yes.
remember anything else.
Okay, that's cool. So now we're going to just move on to our last subject of the day. Okay, so our last subject of the day is going to be a little bit more free. This past Thursday, I flew up to London and basically had to kind of a private basically go on Disney Infinity 3.0. I got to play the Rise of the Empire playset, got to play the Twilight of the Republic, and I also got to play Inside Out. And I saw a little bit of farming in the toy box. Fortunately, we only had just over an hour, so trying to fit in all of that was, literally like 15 minutes a piece. So we got to play
That's a good tease.
Yeah, so got to play like the space X-wing fight on Rise of the Empire.
Was fun. Yeah,
And that was a lot of fun. I'm good at dodging. I'm good at evading and defending. Dodging was not something I was good at. I also got
it takes some time to get used to, right?
Yeah. There was also, I got to see a little bit of some races on Tatooine in the Speedster. The Twilight of the Republic we went through the level, and I went right up to the point where I had to defeat Grievous, which I did. So that was cool. Very, very different. And then in the Inside Out, we played some level, basically just jumping around as sadness and anger within the first level, doing bits and pieces. So that was great to finally get the feel of the game, because I've seen the playthroughs so many times now on different videos and through Toybots TV Live. It was so different actually playing it in person and controlling it and being able to. The fighting on Twilight of the Republic it didn't even feel like Disney Infinity. That's how much the fighting felt different.
As far as you're fighting the combos, or like the fighting in general with like the actual bad guys that you play as well.
Just in general, just running along and fighting with the lightsaber, it felt very different to how it did in the other games. I've been playing like Batman Arkham Knight this last month. Mm-hmm. And I would almost say that like the fighting style, when you're fighting, in the previous one, when you do the lightsaber, it was like one slash and that was it kind of thing. Now you've got combos and you're jumping in the air and you can juggle them and you can pull them forward and push them away. And the fighting technique has really been improved, and it's much better than it was before. We had a bit of a joke about the fact that if you put a 1.0 character and a 3.0 character, they're going to be outmatched. But
good luck.
But if you put the pink pink flamingo mallet on the 1.0 character, they are both equal with the lightsaber and the mallet, because of the way they've upgraded the skill set, which I think is a great move, because otherwise 1.0 characters would be destroyed.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but like you said, luckily there's a little bit more of a balance. I mean, we still want them to increase or improve the abilities for the 1.0 characters, but like you said, even the weapons play the same, so it's awesome.
The one thing that really got me was how much different the free playsets felt. Rise of the Empire was more classic scenes. Saw the Hoth battle with the stormtroopers and all that. That was really cool. But Twilight was a very battle-orientated game, which was different. And then Inside Out was literally just like having an entirely different game. You're jumping around, collecting the orbs, doing this, doing that. And you would have if you didn't know it was Disney Infinity, you would have said that it was an entirely different video game. It wasn't even remotely Disney Infinity, because it felt so much different. The 2D scrolling part of it looked amazing. It seemed to flow very, very well. And the 3D sort of thing, I almost felt like you're at like Skylanders angle, where you're following it around on one of the levels I played at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I
but
can see that.
They got different ways of doing levels, so it was very cool seeing the 3 different play sets in action personally. And also, like I said, they were so different, and this is the big thing that Disney put through to me. They said that they felt that the Avengers and the Spider-Man playset were so close to how each other felt, there wasn't enough variety. And this is the big thing that they've done this year, was literally they want variety in those playsets to make them all feel different. And they've also let each playset company doing them have freedom to do something different.
Well, JV has said that he really likes what he's seeing from the new Marvel playset. I mean, he said it in the interview I did with him at E3. He said it in a different interview that I saw on IGN. So it makes me feel like even that's going to be completely different as far as the gameplay goes. So, and then we don't even know anything about Episode 7. So, no, yeah, it's like you said. There's so much differentiating aspects between each playset that just it's exciting. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of the farming in the toy box.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm still gonna admit, it's not the one thing that's appealing to me. I never really was that big fan of sidekicks
Farmville.
Anyway, and Farmville and the constant feeding things up, and it's like it's bad enough trying to level up characters to level 20, let alone trying to level up all these little townspeople. But I can see what they're doing, and you got to go in, and they've made it fun. Yeah, it's just an interesting concept. It's hard to know, even though I've played it, and obviously the little sidekicks get leveled up, so it'll make them more useful for toy boxes and for the villains takeover toy box and all the rest of it. But yeah, so that was a bit of an odd one. Saw the El Capitan Theater. Didn't go inside of it, just was outside of it, and a little bit of the hub. But I love the fact that they're going to be bringing the videos and more interactive from some of their videos they're going to be bringing into the game. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start getting tutorials in there as well and some little helpful hints and stuff. But the fact that Toybox TV is going to be in the El Capitan Theater within the hub, and the fact that it keeps regenerating, and everything's just in the Toybox hub just keep regenerating. They want it to be somewhere that you keep going back into. Now,
in your demo, did they let you go into those two buildings?
No, we didn't go inside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still hoping to finally see what that looks like. Obviously, they still have to connect them and make sure they work. But okay, cool. I'm glad you got to see the exterior. They still look so really good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like when the toy box is building, it's like ooh, and they're just like, because I sort of said, they said, "Oh, are you familiar with the toy box?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did have a few featured." At which point, they just went, we won't let you it's like they did give me the controller when I went into the toy box when they went into the toy box.
They're like, oh yeah, hands off.
Yeah, we're not letting him in there because he'll find stuff out. But yeah, so no, it was a good experience. It was great to finally get to have some hands-on time ahead of launch, just to kind of, it's that thing of it's like, well, is this game going to be, I think with the playsets, I've always had that view that they are going to be a good solid campaign, but it was great to finally kind of get my hands on them a little bit early, and just kind of, because I think this year it just feels like everyone's played it already. I know, right? I think because they've been putting it out in, it's doing a UK tour, it's been in Disney World, it's been at all these different events. It just feels like it's like, well, I will have a go.
Well, as far as the three that you played, and obviously you only had 15 minutes, so I don't know if it's a fair question, but which three are you favoring? Which one of the three are you favoring at this point?
Right, well, Inside Out came out on Friday at the cinema. I went to see it on Friday because it was a wet afternoon, and I was knackered after walking around London all day, so we went to the cinema to see Inside Out. I'm going to be honest, I think Inside Out actually appeals to me the most out of those play sets for a couple of reasons. I always love platformers. I've always loved the platformer, and I think it looks very smart. I love the idea that you've got to change the characters depending on what you're doing. I was trying to get Anger to go up this bit, and I just couldn't do him because the cloud kept dropping before I could do it. And they were like, okay, we're going to switch to Sadness. Because it's got Sadness, it just went straight up and across, and it was easy. But I don't know, it's Inside Out. I think it's because it's new, it's fresh, it's different, new characters, something brand new. I'm excited about that. It's nice to see something Disney, kind of, because we haven't seen anything like that for a while. But it's really hard. I mean, Star Wars versus Inside Out, it's such an odd balance to work out what I'm doing. But on day one, when I got 3 play sets to play with.
Yeah. Okay, so it's out. Yeah, and it does feel like it's a different experience that we've had before. Because even though both of the Star Wars games look awesome and they play awesome, Inside Out still feels fresher to me. Because, I mean, the Star Wars ones have a little similar feel to them.
But also, like with the Inside Out one, is I love the collectability side of things, of collecting the orbs and stuff. But the replay of trying to do it as fast as you can, trying to get everything, they've really built this kind of trying to master those levels. You're trying to do it as fast as you can, trying to do it. I think that's going to allow for a lot of people to have a lot more time in that play. Yeah, you can charge for it probably quite quickly if you really want to, but the trick is going to be mastering those levels is where things are going to get a little bit interesting. But Rise of the Empire is a place that I'm going to love kind of recreating those classic scenes, because that's what that place is, recreate. Whereas Twilight is a totally new story with a different thing entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels different when you play the Twilight of the Republic. I mean, and like you said, you got to play the droid factory level that leads you to Grievous. I mean, just each level, and even the bad guys that you play, they're different. It's not like the same Frost Giant over and over again. That's something that I really like about it. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were very much aware of the fact that I think with the first one they had too many ice giants and too many similar. It's like even the Venom ones. The symbionts all look too similar. The droids, there were 5 or 6 different droids that I think that we saw. But then when you go into the rise, and I saw Tusken Raiders, and you saw stormtroopers and snow troopers and stuff. So there's already a difference between that. I mean, there's only so many different variations they can do.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just really excited. I just looking down, going on those first few days of getting the games. Like, what do you do next? What you're trying to experience everything. It's so much going to be coming out on day one. I'm really glad they are spreading it out a little bit. And one way I'm sort of going, and if like with Rise of the Empire coming out a month later, I mean, I'm going to get the Saga bundle, so you get it on day one. It's like I think it's a really good idea for them to have done that, to leave that on a month later, because with Takeover, the toy box and those 2 play sets, that should be enough to keep most people going a while.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, unfortunately I suffer the dilemma of already having Rise against the Empire, so I think I'm gonna hold off on Boba. I'm gonna resist. So
yes,
yeah,
it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of odd thing of just like it's so close now. I still that kind of weird thing of I think we're definitely into the last run. The next 2 weeks, I think, with Gamescom and D23 and Toy Box Summit, we are literally just on the crisp. I've just literally getting an infinity overload of news coming up in the next few weeks ahead of launch.
I hope so, because I feel like we were bid, and I'm getting withdrawals from not getting new announcements. It's been a while. I mean, even the Ant-Man tease was like, it's still not good enough. I need to see a figure.
Yeah, I think that's the thing this year. Is I think it came out with this big blast straight off the bat. Then we had E3, and we've had a few things coming on. San Diego Comic-Con still felt a little bit of a disappointment.
Well, yeah, but again, I think it has to do with Marvel. But
yeah,
anyways,
I think it was a thing of it stretched out. I mean, they should have I just still don't understand why they didn't just come out and just be like, here is Ant-Man. Here's a picture of Ant-Man. Do what they did with Ultron and thing. Just literally put out the figure and a little gameplay footage and just be like, he's out there. Because now it's like last year they did those like weekly releases of those Disney characters, because they really tried to stretch those like 11 Disney characters out all summer. And like, I think it's obviously worked better this year. But yeah, I think we're about to get an infinity bombardment, because like once we start seeing the Toy Box Summit live, we're going to start seeing toys. We're going to start going, there's that, there's this, there's that, and that's always exciting, because I think once they let the toy box artists into the toy box, we're going to start learning more. So they've got to get that information out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to have guards on every station to keep them out of the Hall of Galactic Heroes and the Hall of Superheroes?
Where exactly do you think D20? No, I think they may have the game kind of programmed to the point where you can't go into it. I mean, obviously they're gonna ask the toy box artists to go ahead and not do so, but I feel like there might be some of that not listen. So we'll see what happens.
It's a bit like putting this here in front of me and going, "Do not touch, do not touch."
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I mean, I remember I was sat there at the table last a couple of days ago, and they had all these characters on the table, and I sat down and just like pick one up and just started looking at it. It's like I've seen pictures of these things for so long to finally see them all standing there in front of me. It's like you just want to, yeah. It's just like pick them up and actually just look underneath and just look at them in person and just it was just quite funny. It was, yeah.
It's funny because we were it was funny because Evilos and I at a Comic-Con at the pop-up shop, Dave Marinak was around and Allison, and we would like grab a figure and like put it in our pocket in front of them, like just like we want all of these, get it to us already. But no, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you have this like actually now that we're talking about it, I was going to ask you. You did mention that it was Yoda and Obi-Wan you had to choose from.
Yes.
Like, how were you able to choose if you can only have one? You know what I mean? Like, what was going through your head? It's like, ah!
It was quite funny because they had like the two of them in their hands. Which one do you want? And there was me and this other reporter, and we were both. And I sort of said to the other guy, "Well, you have first pick," because I figured I'm getting them both anyway, so I'm going to buy which. It's like, and they said, "Oh no, we've got loads more." It's like, well, I'll have Yoda because he looks really cool. It literally was just that kind of thing. I'd been playing Yoda on the game, so it was a bit like I beat General Grievous with Yoda, so that was why I just thought, nah, that was
like mine.
Yeah. So no, it was quite funny. It was just like, yeah, but also what got me was the size of those of the Death Star for the Rise of the Republic playset piece. It's huge.
It's gorgeous though. I love it. It's actually one of my favorite playset pieces of all time. Like if I were to choose out of all of them that I've seen so far, that one would be the one that I would pick.
And especially when it it's going to light up very nicely.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited.
You haven't tried putting it on your 2.0, have you?
I don't. Look, I did it. I did it with Darth Maul like 3 times, hoping that the following time I put it would work, and it still didn't work. So I'm not gonna tease myself even more by putting the playset piece. I didn't even want to put the inside out figures on there just to see the memory light up. I'm like, no, I will resist. I will resist. Oh yeah, it's cool.
I also got to see the 2 expansion disc sort of pieces for the first time. I'm kind of like, on one hand, they're a lot better than those pieces that we saw last year.
Absolutely.
I think there was too much confusion with them. Are they power discs?
Right.
They didn't look right. So this year they look very different, but I kind of wish that they look slightly, because looking at them on first glance, you can't really see what they are unless you literally pick them up and look at them. Because to see if there's like a racing car or a shield on it. So no, that's the one thing. They do look a lot better than last year, but I do wonder if they need a little bit more variation. They're good for packaging because I can see they could fit in that box a lot nice and easy because they're more simpler. But yeah, it's even just seeing them, and I got to have a couple of two of the power discs in thing. But no, it was very cool to kind of finally get my hands on those games and just sort of see it in person, really, and just kind of, it was a great experience. Plus, I had a great time in London. I went to the Disney store and looked around all the toys and all the bits and pieces, picked up some pops. Went to Forbidden Planet and just geeked out in there for I think about an hour with all the comic books and pops and figures and Hot Toys stuff. And went to Hamley's 5 levels of toys and stuff. This is. And even went up the Shard for the first time as well, which is like the tallest building in London, like 72nd floor high. I think it was slightly higher than the Empire building. Seeing all over London and stuff was great. It was just a really cool day to kind of just get out and just get into London and just have a full-on day out being a geek, basically.
It's taller than the Empire State Building?
The observation deck was at the 72nd floor, which I think when I went up the Empire State Building, it was like the 68th or 69th.
On the
So
Empire State Building, I went up to 102. So I'm confused.
yeah.
Maybe I was a little happy that night. I don't remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know this. I
was 102.
think I know when I went at the CN Tower. I think it was 102nd, 120.
Sears Tower is definitely taller, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah, the Sears Tower. I remember when I went up that was even higher again. But yeah, so it's certainly a bit interesting. But yeah, no, so it was a great experience in London. Love playing the game. I'm just so excited. I just can't believe it's a few weeks away. And I D20. It's that thing as well with D23 and all that information. We are just going to be weeks from it. It's not like last year where we had another month. We are literally going to be D23 next week or 2 weeks. The game's coming out.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I was going to say now I'm just like, I'm trying to finish off. I'm going through Arkham Knight. I'm going right. I've got about 3 more weeks of Arkham Knight to kind of get this thing done because once Infinity 3.0 hits, that's going to be me done till probably Battlefront.
I know that's true. I still have to get back to Batman. Oy vey. Yeah.
I'm just The Witcher is complete. I'm just thinking I'm gonna trade that in because that's never gonna get any day. Once 3.0 hits, nothing. I'm just gonna take a big pile of games in just to trade them in because I just know that I won't have time, especially once I start getting into the toy box building again.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it was that thing. I have had a break. I've been playing people's toy boxes and going in and doing that a couple of times during the week. So I'm still playing Infinity a couple of times a week. But I did decide to take a little bit of a break just because I knew once 3.0 hits, I'm going to be playing that for months.
Gotcha.
No, but
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I'm going to be stuck on Infinity for a while.
Yes.
Well, definitely until Battlefront, for sure.
Well, that's the good thing as well. With Battlefront being at late November, that means we've got the whole of September and October and most of November.
Oh, yeah, we have time.
To really kind of plow or something kind of get a big group thing on the Infinity one, and then we don't know when those other. I'm thinking November. We're probably going to end up with Force Awakens anyway.
That's what I was going to tell you. That's what I'm afraid of. I feel like they're going to release that playset around the same time. Like, what do I do?
I'm really hoping Force Awakens is December. That's what I'm really. And I'd love the fact that if they can do this, especially if they can get this power this and I'm going to be honest, I would love a playset next year. Be it Marvel or I just feel like I don't think.
Sorry.
I think
Hopefully.
Marvel's going to be out before Christmas.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think it'll be in between Force Awakens and Rise of the Republic. But I think if they can stretch those playsets out, I think it's a great idea. I'm just glad we haven't got that repeat of. Is that repeat of 1.0? We had 5 playsets on day one. Luckily, I was still not entirely too sure, so I'd only bought the main pack and played through those 3 before I bought the other playsets. So yeah, if I'd know if they repeated 1.0 again now, I'd have 5 playsets on day one would be so much.
Yeah, agreed. It'll be interesting.
Yes. So no, that's going to be great. So anything you want to add for this week's show?
No, I hope something happens this week because I don't feel like we're going to get anything this week. I'm wondering, are they going to hold off on everything to Gamescom next week? Or I was going to say, give us Ant-Man this week, and the next Gamescom, you can give us the whole playset. You know what I mean? Just give us something. Just give us a little taste.
Yeah. It would be good to get something because they didn't say on Toybox TV what they were going to be playing through this week, did they?
No hints on what's coming up. Nothing. All we know is that JB won't be around until the summit.
Yeah, because he's going to be off traveling to different locations. I know he's coming to Europe. I think I'm wondering for the Gamescom, but also London because there's a few different games companies making stuff. I think you said something about Seattle. He's heading there. Is that right?
Yeah, he took off to Seattle last night, and we wonder what he's going to do over there. I mean, there's the possibility of Microsoft, Amazon, other game developers.
I'm thinking
Mario.
Yeah, I think a Starbucks exclusive figure. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh gosh. Oh. Yes, with every cup of Joe.
I went to Seattle for WrestleMania 19. That was 12, 13 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I just remember just like every other shop was a coffee shop. I'd just be like, it's just like,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah. What figure could you tie to coffee? I'm trying to think. Nope.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I was gonna say Mario. It makes sense. He's gonna go talk to Mario, saying, "Dude, why are you guys working with Skylanders? You gotta work with." Nah, I don't want them to work.
No, yeah, we do it on an Amiibo Mickey.
Yeah, an Amiibo Mickey, maybe. That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I think that's the thing with Seattle. There's literally could be anything. You could literally be just talking. I don't know. It could be a journalist up there. It could be a games developer for a new playset for.
That's what I'm thinking. It's because
5
Bungie's up there. There's a bunch of other cool developers, so it's possible.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that they're doing is kind of getting lots of different developers in to do all these playsets and stuff. Because I think going forward each year, that's what they're going to continue to be doing.
Or he could. Go ahead.
I was going to say because I think they've realized that more play sets means more figures, means more people like. I don't think we'll ever go back down to having free play sets again. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't see them ever going back to that because I think they got it hurt the game. I think in the long run they can't afford to do that.
I gotcha. I was going to say if that's not the case, it could also be meeting with either Amazon or General Nelson at Microsoft for maybe an exclusive. So who knows? But
who knows? It's all speculation at this point.
They're all up there, yeah. So we'll see.
Starbucks exclusive. There we go.
Yeah, Starbucks. Pre-order now, and you get a free gift card.
Now you get Starbucks Power Disc. You get a free cup of coffee. Gives you a boost for 5 minutes.
Oh, that's right. Your characters go haywire for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to leave this with the Starbucks edition. And we'll be back on another episode of Disney Infinity and Beyond. Just going to a quick shout out before we leave off to some of our patrons. Ethan Allen over at sorterapps.com and Magic Band Collectors. Big thank you to him for being July's sponsor. And also I'm going to give a big shout out to James at the Infinity Museum. He is a great supporter of us as well over at patreon.com/DisKingdom. You can find us on Twitter at DisKingdom. You can find us at DisKingdom.com. Find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and we also have a Facebook group, Infinity and Beyond. If you are interested in Disney Infinity, I would recommend you join up there. There's lots of discussion with all of us, all the crew at DisKingdom, plus got a great community there, all interacting, apparently all telling us all about their different picks for the Disney Infinity thing. So it's a great community there. And you can remember to subscribe button if you're on iTunes and all of this, just all the social stuff.
Yeah, give us a review. Thank you guys for all your donations. Be a Patreon, help us out, give you more news as it comes. And next week will be our final webcast before D23 in the summit. So it'll be interesting. And I might, maybe, no guarantees, but we might have a special guest on the webcast after D23. Disney Nerd Dad will be flying out here, and he will be coming to my place. So we'll see what happens.
So, hey, well, that'd be fantastic. So we're going to have loads of stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. And then obviously once the game comes in, then things are really going to start picking up. You'll find lots of content there. We've done really well with the Abe's done very well with his unboxing videos. Even Travis jumped in with a tour. So once the game hits, we're going to be working hard to get as many sort of videos and stuff done for you guys as possible, as quickly as possible. And that pretty much, we'll be getting slap bang into the game and giving as much help as we can.
Yep, that's right, guys.
Okay, I think that's pretty much. Yep. Laters.
Laters, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Laters.